Ladies and gentlemen, the WRT Boxing Show with Mr. A, Episode 8, shall begin shortly. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for tuning in. Ready, talk boxing with Mr. A. I am your host. Hit that thumbs up. Today's episode, we are doing pre-fight scores, pre-fight scorecards, that is. Because today, January 20th, is a lot of boxing. I chose to cover two events. The one here in the States of Errol Spence Jr. versus Lamont Peterson. And then the one in France with the headliner of Andre Scarpi taking on Frank Bettijan for the European Union super lightweight. Now that's the headliner, and also on that fight is Mohamed Mamoun versus Emiliano Rodriguez for the IBO super lightweight. You had Maba Hamadouche taking on Muriel Darrow for the IBS super featherweight. The only fight that we didn't break down here on the WRT Boxing Show is the Marvin Petit versus Samar Kashmi for the WBA Continental Super Lightweight. That's the only one we didn't give coverage to here on the WRT Boxing Show. Time was limited, but overall it's a good card. We will go into more of that. And then, of course, I covered the Errol Spence ones. That was Spence and Peterson, Nowalski versus Kizlat. Who else was on that one? You got Easter and Fortuna. But added to that card that I didn't cover, it was supposed to. It has like Hitchison on there, but it was supposed to be a Amanda Serrano. So I think it was a chance to get like a WBA 6th division belt, which is weird. It's a little off the subject, but I like her. But it seemed like they're just like finding belts to give her, man. Like, at least do some type of elimination for him. She was just hopping up in divisions, getting belts. But she ended up not being on tonight's card, and they replaced her with Ivan Gulab. I like that little guy. I like Ivan Gulab. The name might sound vaguely familiar to the people in the States or just boxing fans. He was on the PBC. He fought the tall Jamonte Clark, and it was a back and forth fight. I thought Gulab did just enough to come back and nick it, because that first half of the fight, Jamonte Clark's jab and just reach and height was ridiculous. He had like an over a foot reach. The height was the height. Like I said, if you want to see a nice little entertaining fight until tonight's cards, go watch a replay of Jamonte Clark and Ivan Gulab. Anyway, Ivan Gulab, this is his fight since that loss, and so he's been added to tonight's card. Pretty sure on the early preliminaries, ain't gonna be on TV, but maybe the Showtime app you can watch him. He's fighting Fidel Monterosa Munoz. 38-15-1, 30 KOs, 12 losses, 55 KO percent. So he's in there with some guy who's gonna throw punches. Fidel Munoz, he's in there to throw punches. He will take you out if you're not on your P's and Q's. He throws with intentions. Pretty decent footwork. He goes in and out. I'd probably give him faster feet than Gulab. He could probably use the ring a little faster, a little smoother than Gulab. But as far as punching placement, where their feet was, I'd say Gulab has better fundamentals and feet work for that reason, that section in boxing. So but just better all, probably just Like I said, using the ring, Fidel, but being in boxing placement, Gulab probably delivering the power shots, probably Gulab from his feet, right? And just better all defensive usage of their feet. Gulab is more of just a stand in front of you slipper. I think Fidel could probably use the ring a little better with his feet, but they're both going to be in front of each other. I like the legs and feet of Fidel. And then defensively, Fidel's going to try and be bobbing and weaving, kind of turn him, and Gulab is going to come forward and try and not take him out. So Gulab's going to be walking him down, slipping. His best defense probably going to be his offense. Because Gulab his defense is about timing. He could time pretty well. He's a good counter puncher on the checks for the timing. But his mainly is just coming forward, slipping, and timing you. That's his defensive right there. His Fidel, I believe his feet work. It's like from what I've seen from Fidel, he will easily take an excuse to end a fight. Like I said, he's there to be finished. He's an opponent, but his defense, like I said, he's there to get hit. He moves, he circles, but he's offense. So when he stops throwing, the defense ain't superb. And I say so. Punch and power. I think that Fidel can crack. He does throw with some velocity. Jab for jab, I go with Gulab. So if Fidel was to win this fight, he's gonna have to use his legs and turn Ivan, because Ivan only has 44 rounds in him. Fidel has like 236 rounds. They're both 29 years old too, but Ivan has a 2-inch height at 5'11 to 5'9. So both 29 years old, but look at the rounds, 236 to 44. That's professional experience. So Fidel's gonna have to just turn him, and I said make it an inside fight, because Gulab is better at getting full extension on his punches, and that's when he's most dangerous. If Fidel can make this an inside fight, he has a chance with the inside hooks he provides with the power and the feet work to turn Gulab. Now my prediction is I believe Gulab will stop him. I think Gulab will keep him on the end of his punches, work the body, and eventually just cut off the ring and put him on the ropes and finish him. I say about round 7. I go with Ivan Gulab with a round 7 stoppage of Fidel Monterosa Munoz. So that was my little breakdown and prediction of the, because I just now realized he was added to that card. I would love to see that fight. Because I gotta work and come home to this. So tonight, after you watch this episode, you can look forward to tonight's a post-fight recap. Like I said, because I gotta watch a late edition out here in California after I get off work, so it will be a later version of a post-fight recap of the whole card that is televised. And then if whatever fights if that's not televised, I'll catch those later and we shall talk about those. Now that is that fight, go back to the card itself. Errol Spence, Lamont Peterson, Easter Fortuna, Marcus Brown, and I cannot remember who Marcus Brown is fighting. He is fighting for Francie and Tuti. These are all going to be good fights. But before we discuss and grade these fights, we will get into a little more news in the boxing that is a little ear ringing, gets you thinking. First of all, the month of March just keeps getting better and better. You know, first we hear Sergey Lipinets and Mikey Garcia is off. Things back on. Have you seen his hand? His hand looks pretty nasty. You know. Now and then we hear it's back on March 10th. And what else is on March? Gotta add. So then you get Gvozdyk taking on Mindy Amar. So that's a kicker. That's March 17th. So if you're thinking, what is that? Like, Mr. A, you went from, you said March was hot. You know, we got Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz March 3rd. We're ending it with Joshua and Parker. That was already just a nice hot month. And then you had Dylan White and Lucas Brown the 24th. And then now on the 10th, I'm sorry, you got Mikey Garcia and Lipinets. And then on the 17th, like, what, Mr. A, another one? Another hot date in March? Yes. Gvozdyk versus Amar. What? Yeah, I don't know about that one, Mr. A. I was feeling those four. Gvozdyk versus Amar. Well, that is the news for March 17th. Now, obviously, Olander, Gvozdyk, the light heavyweight contender, and he is taking on number 11, Midar Amar. Now remember, that was supposed to be Elder Alvarez, but his team, this story gets weird. That's supposed to be Elder Alvarez, but his team's like, no, we did one too many eliminators. We're done with eliminators. So the WBC, they give Gvozdyk Amar, ranked number 11, fighting for the interim. Like, they're fighting for the interim title. All those eliminators that Alvarez fought, when he could have just said, hey, I want to fight for an interim. You know? they let Alvarez go. But I guess that's what happens when they're like, hey, you took all that sidestep of money. You screwed yourself. Don't say we screwed you. All you had to say was no sidestep of money. Now he takes the sidestep of money, and then he says, I don't want to do an eliminator. So they give the guy he was supposed to be in an eliminator fight with a fight for the intern. Oh my goodness. Alvarez, like, what? One fight and this guy is guaranteed to fight the winner next, when I was for 2 years waiting. That is crazy. So that's very, very interesting that that little story took place for March 17th. See how Team Alvarez reacts to that. So that is, again, 5 hot dates right here on the Double RT Boxing Show. 5 bulletin boards. March 3rd, Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz. March 10th, Mikey Garcia and Sergey Lipinets. March 17th, was I forgot his name. Alexander Gvozdyk, I believe. Alexander Gvozdyk taking on Mindy Amar for the interim WBC Light Heavyweight Championship. And then on the 24th, you got Dylan White, Lucas Brown for the WBC Heavyweight Silver title shots in the month of March. And then on March 31st, the big unification showdown, the IBF, the IBO, the WBA, and the WBO heavyweight showdown. Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua, all in the month of March, and we still got dates to add. Wow, what March 2018? Thumbs up if you like what you're hearing so far for March, right? Yikes. March gets a thumbs up. Now, other boxing news is Billy Joe Saunders. What do you think of his announcement? And what is the announcement, Mr. A? You didn't say it. The announcement is he will be added to the April 14th Terry Flanagan taking on Maurice Hooker for the vacant WBO super lightweight title. Now that fight itself, who Hooker or Flanagan should be interesting. We'll definitely break that one down, talk about that. And you got Hooker's reach, you got Flanagan boxing. It'll be nice. Now, the news of it is the Billy Joe Saunders, and he will be fighting Martin Murray. Now, what do you think about that, folks? Thumbs up for that fight, yes. Well, and like I said, the way I look at it, I'm perfectly okay with this fight. And we just talked about it the other day. We talked about it previously. Taking staying busy fights. You know, Billy Joe Saunders just talked a whole lot of shit. You know, went in the ring, backed it all up on the opponent that he was talking that shit on. Beat a hot name in David Lemieux. Beat him convincingly. That was his mandatory. Calling out Golovkin, calling out Canelo. So, for his voluntary, why fuck up your chances for that big fight? Take the nice, stay busy fight. Credible name, Martin Murray. It's no slouch, you know. I think it'll be a more competitive fight than the David Lemieux. Martin Murray has a better feet, better footwork. He's a better boxer than David Lemieux. So I think he'll give a more competitive, more exchanging in the ring. I don't think it's as a pushover as people say. You know, I do got Billy Joe winning that fight, but when I heard the name Billy Joe Saunders and David Lemieux, and then Billy Joe Saunders and Martin Murray, instantly I give Martin Murray more rounds than I give David Lemieux. Instantly. Now, could it be the same looking defeat? Possible, but just up here thinking instantly, I see a better fight. Like I said, Martin Murray has better footwork than David Lemieux, better boxing to me, IQ, better jab, better punch variation, speed variation, a better mix-up of punches. So yeah, it should be a pretty interesting fight. You know, I think Billy Joe could dictate that pace, but I think it's to me it's easily better than a David Lemieux matchup, easily, and it's a nice stay busy fight. Like I said, everyone, yeah, Danny kind of got a little slack for when he took on something Vargas before he fought Keith Thurman. They're like, all right, dude, you want that fight in Philly because you're about to take on Keith Thurman, whatever. Because we knew after that Vargas fight, he was fighting Keith Thurman. So he's out here calling Canelo Triple G. You know, why wouldn't that win? It's almost like the fans are gonna kind of force either Triple G winner or Canelo to fight Billy Joe Saunders. And if Saunders turns that fight down, makes an excuse, then it's all on him. But right now he's calling off that winner. He's you know, you guys are gonna fight in May. I'm fighting in April. We're gonna be on the same timeline to fight in October, November, or September. You know, September if it's Canelo. So it's very acceptable. I think it's a great fight actually. Not a great fight, but it's a very entertaining fight, especially. It's on the Terry Flanagan card, so that's a nice little first piece of news of April for me at least. But I do believe Nair and Frampton is in April. I want to say April 4th, 14th, something with a 4. I can't quite think. And I just know Frank Warren's a little upset that yeah. So I forgot that date, but I know Frank Warren's a little upset that they put someone put the same fight on that day. Now, Quig, I think. I don't know. I forgot. I'm lost. I went down a rabbit hole. Let me climb out. Now, back to what we opened the show with. We are doing some pre-fight scorecard review and grades. You know, so we're gonna start with the one in France. You know, I don't know who's promoting it, but I just know it's taking place at the was it Places des Sports Marcel Cordon. I believe it's gonna be taking it. Like I said, the fights we covered out of the four. So like I said, it's 4 title fights. 4 title fights. You got the super lightweight European Union between Andre Scarpa and Frank Bettijean. You got Muhammad Mamoun Rodriguez for the IBO super lightweight, Mava Hamadouch and Maron for the IBF super featherweight, and Marvin Petit taking Samar Kashmir for the WBA Continental Super Lightweight. 4 title fights, good mesh of styles, which we will go into real quick. As I said, Hamadouche and Myron Depel. I can't read my writing, but it's Myron. Messed that one totally up, guys. Sorry, but the Hamadouche and Myron fight for the IBF Super Featherweight, the females title. That's one fight I am looking forward to. I really hope I come across that one. I want to do a post-fight recap on that fight so bad. Like I said, you got the mover, Myra, a great bicycle. That girl can move. She throws little combinations off the movement. And then you got Hamadouche just coming in, just throwing a hard hook. Like I said, the girl practices on the heavy bag with short 1-inch punches. You know, pop, 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 pop. So she delivers. So just with the contrast of styles and the straight brute come forward with the peppery butterfly stinging of those 2 styles that's mixing together, I give that fight at least a B because both girls do their styles very well. That is going to be a very good fight. I want to see that so bad. Then we move on to the IBO super lightweight. Muhammad Mamoun taking on Emiliano Rodriguez. Almost the same thing, but Emiliano doesn't have the footwork that the Hamadouche has to come when she comes forward. She comes forward more of a straight battering ram. Emiliano, so he's going to come forward with some hooks, while Mamoon's going to try the same butterfly, the jabbing, check hooking. So it's good to see boxing taking on the brute, and so far that's what 2 of these fights are. A lot of these fights are actually. It's this whole fight card is that because Scarpa and Petitjean is the same thing. Like the only one I didn't cover on the WRT boxing show was Petit versus Kasmi. So from what I've seen of Petit, he's a mover too. So I don't know if that's just the way France does it in boxing. France is all about that, floating like a butterfly because it's pretty good out there, man. I'm liking, I like I covered this card for it. It caught my attention. Like I said, I believe Moon is gonna use the up and down jab, while Rodriguez is gonna try and get all in his space and be planted. I just don't think he's gonna have that footwork to track Moon down. You know, that one's I give that fight more of a that one's like a C minus. I think Mamoon should win that one pretty convincingly. It just Emiliano feet ain't quite good enough as Hamadouche to track him down to me. And then we got the super lightweight of Petitjean. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, France. I really hope I am, France. I hope I am. Petitjean taking on Scarpa. Now this fight is very. You got the long, reachy, linky guy in Andre. Well, because Frank Petitjean he could move in and out, circle that ring. Like I said, these French fighters, they're good. They got their bicycles and they're good at using them, man. Good ring control. Like I said, even though I didn't cover the fight, I seen him, and he's very good use of the ring. So it's very because I picked Scarpa to win this fight on a narrow decision, but I was very close to going with Frank because I think Frank has the footwork and the power to go in and out and use the ring very well to make Andre reach and overreach, and then come in and tag him, and then get in close enough. Because if you could get in close enough on Andre, you can make him fight a little too fast, and he leans back a lot, so he leaves it all open. I just don't believe Frank is going to get in enough with power, because O'Hara Davis was able to just bully him with power, but he had that reach to kind of bully his way in. I don't know if Frank can get in with speed of his feet and an okay jab, because they don't have that reach that O'Hara Davis did. But I give that fight. I think that's gonna be a B, because he had that big, linky, heavy hitter trying to time and keep a mover on the outside. So I said all these fights are movers versus like nice little like. So for Scarpio ain't much of a pressure brawler as Hamadouche and Emiliano, but he Petitjean is much is a mover just as Mamoon is and Myram is. So you got movers against the nice reachy boxers. Overall, I'm giving the card of France in the Palace des Sports Marcel Sidon. I'm giving that overall pre-fight score of a B. I'm giving it a B just for the fact that I feel the Muhammad Mamoun fight should be entertaining. I'm not at all believing that Emiliano could win that fight. I don't. His skills don't say, "Oh yeah, that's a possibility he could win that fight." He might make it interesting for some rounds, but the other two fights, I can see Frank Petitjean being too slick and too quick for Andre Scarpa. I could see that. I could see him beating Scarpa, even though the taller, linker guy should knock him out with his power. But I could easily see Petitjean outboxing him in and out, getting the points. And Hamadouche, she has the power, and she most likely will catch Myra and just stop her. But Myra has the defeat is questioned. You see it happening. With Emiliano Rodriguez, I don't think he has it. So that being the only, I guess you say, unquestionable outcome. predictable outcome. The other two is kind of hard to predict. So overall, I give that fight card a B. A B. Like I said, the Patet and Kashmir fight, that should be interesting. I didn't cover it, but from what I've seen, it should be interesting. But the three that I did cover, B. Now moving on to tonight, we do have a very interesting. Now, little news on that card is that Easter's belt will not be on the line because Fortuna blames the cold weather on his reason for missing weight. It's a damn shame. Makes me wonder now. I picked Fortuna to win that fight by knockout too. Now, what type of shape is he going to be in if he can't even make weight? Did he try to drain himself to make weight? I'm not feeling too confident about that pick anymore, but I still stick with it right here on Double RT Boxing. Mr. A, we chose, I believe, a 9th round knockout for Javier Fortuna. We'll see if that comes through, because Robert Easter says he's going to fight tall and knock him out, which is possible, very possible. But I went with my pick because I believe everyone gets in on Robert Easter. Fortuna has the best footwork of all the people that's gotten in on Easter and made things difficult. Comey and Dennis, they were both able to get in there and make things difficult. But they couldn't get away after they scored their shots. I believe Fortuna could get in there, score some shots, and then get away. Because Easter, he allows people to fight in the inside. Because my assessment is I don't think Easter can move around the ring very well and fight at the same time. That's why he's always stopping and fighting in the inside. It's kind of like a reset. And when he does back up, he stops to throw his jab. Backs up, stops, throws the jab. He can't. So I'm picking Fortuna feet to win him the fight, as long as his chin's not up in the air. Fortuna's feet should win this fight. It's my picking. As for the other ones, you got Marcus. I give that fight a nice B plus. Maybe if the belt was on the line, that could even be an A- fight. But that's a good fight, man. I like that fight with Easter and Fortuna. Good clash of styles. Good. Like I said, if the belt's not on the line, like a B-. Then you got Marcus Brown versus Francis Ntitu. Again, a stay busy fight. It's a stay busy fight for Marcus. Maybe bump him up one spot of his rankings across organizations. Ain't nothing wrong with taking a stay busy fight. A game opponent, he was in the ring with David Benavidez, champion caliber. He's going to be in there to fight. He's a game opponent. But like I said, this is just a stay busy fight for Marcus. Make sure you feel loose. Make sure you feel comfortable, and then take them out. Just work on. You need to work on. Practice what you practice on, and take them out. That's just type of fight is. It's a showcase fight. Stay busy fight. I give it like a C-. C-. It's probably gonna be an entertaining fight. Like I said, Francis is he comes to fight. He'll be mix it up a little bit, but Marcus should turn him and jab him and then finish him. And then you have Adam Kowalski taking on Igor Kilazdy. This fight here, folks. This is one of the ones I was all over the wall on picking this one. I went with Ego to win it by points. Even though all the power and the popularity, the popular and the punching power go with Adam, I just feel Adam right now, yes, he's good at pressuring, but he throws some sloppy wide stuff sometimes. And Igor is a pretty decent back foot boxer. You know, he's good at back foot checking, and I believe he's good at he's going to use his lateral movement. I don't think he's going to take the fight to Adam. He can't. I don't think he has that type of power to match just a trading session with Adam. But I do believe he has enough power to back foot fight him, do some back foot check hooks on him, and then he said with his lateral movement, making Adam overextend and reach. Now the only thing is during his back foot, he does have a tendency to kind of like do the arms down backlane, so Adam can boom. He's Adam's good pressure, a volume puncher. So eventually it can wear down Ego. Not Ego. Is it Ego? Ego. So it can't wear him down. Considering he's going to have to use a lot of lateral movement to keep Adam off balance. But it should be a very interesting fight. I actually am very intrigued by this fight a lot. I'm giving. So I want to give it. To be honest, I want to give that fight an A, but it has no belt on the line. But for styles, I'm going to give that fight a B as well. I like the styles of those two guys. I like it a lot. Like I said, Fortuna, and I'm more intrigued by the Adam Kowalski fight versus Ego Kilazdi in the Fortuna Easter fight, and I like that fight a lot too. Like I said, so we got a B in Adam's fight, a B in Easter's fight, a C in Brown, and then we go into the main event. Yes. Oh wait, before we go into the main event, let's go on down to the newly added Ivan Gulov. We did do a nice breakdown of his fight on this episode. Ivan Gulov, like I said, it's a welcome back fight. Off a tough loss, fighting a gamed Fidel Munoz. Oh man, if Ivan's not ready, if Ivan didn't work on his defense, he's going to get hit a lot to the body and a lot with some overhand rights. We'll see how he is at slipping that right. Did he learn anything in that Jamonte Clark fight, taking too many hits? And we'll see if like I said, we'll see how his body defense is. We got the pressure fighter, and these basically both of them were just more as a Gulov is a pressure 1-2er, while Fidel is a pressure hooker. We'll see which one wins out the battle. I'm definitely intrigued by it though. I wish I get this fight at a C. But it's pretty. Only cause I don't feel too confident in Fidel's. He comes to win until the fight gets to the manure starts to smell and it gets real and the shit gets real stinky. I don't know if Fidel has it. How some people say Victor Ortiz doesn't have it all 12 rounds. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know if Fidel has it all 12 rounds. He checks out sometimes. And he'll find a reason to check out. So I just don't know. So I'm going to give that fight a C just for like that, what he brings to that fight. But it's a good style matchup though. Two pressure fighters. One with a little more better lateral movement. So interesting to see if Fidel's angles could give Gulov a problem. If Fidel uses his angles, or will he just stand there and try and fight Gulov and get bombed on? But definitely a C fight. Now we go into the main event. Earl the Truth Peterson against Lamont. What is Lamont? Is it the body snatcher? Lamont Peterson. Body work galore for these two guys for the IBF welterweight strap. Lamont Peterson gives up the WBA belt, the regular belt, to get this belt. You got the fancier footwork in Lamont Peterson. Lamont Peterson just might be the overall better boxer. It just Earl Peterson just does the very basics in boxing very well. Or at least he shows it up to here. He's very fundamental. You know, he doesn't look the greatest of defense, but he's also not getting hit tremendously either. So, like I said, he's just very he's like your Tim Duncan of basketball. I guess that's Earl Spence. You know, that's the only thing I can compare him to. Like Earl is very what as Floyd used to say, no special effects, but he beats the hell out your body. Tim Duncan, no special effects, but he'll bank shot you all damn day. Bank, bank, bank. Tim Duncan going to the bank. Earl Spence, body, body, body. Earl Spence going to the body. San Antonio, baby. You know, that Texas shit. These motherfuckers are just basic, but really damn good. You know, why be flashy when you can get the job done? Very simple. And I see Earl Spence. That's why I see him out of Earl Spence. He's very simple, but just on point, good. You got Lamont Peterson, who got that. You know, he showed that sugar feet and sugar toes and Danny Garcia, where he was able going back and forth, doing standstill lunges on him. You know, sweeping, using the root in and out attack. Will he be able to do that against Earl Spence? Yes, he can. How strong are the shots he's going to be able to land on Earl Spence? How will they affect him fighting that style? I don't know, but he can get at least a 2 to 4 round lead in the early rounds doing that way, because I don't think Earl Spence is going to just a lot of people are believing that Earl Spence eventually can overpower Lamont Peterson. You know, being the natural bigger man. So I do believe that's going to happen. I believe eventually he's going to wear Lamont Peterson down. I went bold on this one. Mr. A went bold on this prediction. I picked a Barry Hunter is going to stop the fight. But I do believe he can take if he used that movement like he did in Danny Garcia, he could easily do this with Earl Spence. I don't know if he could do it as long as he did it against Danny Garcia. But eventually, just like he did it with Danny Garcia, he's going to have to turn it on and fight. But without turning it on and fighting Earl Spence, I do believe he could get an easy 2 to 3 round lead on Earl Spence moving like that. And then that would kind of have to put Earl behind the 8 ball and make Earl fight a little faster. Maybe take a little more chances. Leaving more counter opportunities for Lamont Peterson and moving. So that's how I see Lamont Peterson winning this fight. You know, I think he's going to get an early round lead with that movement, making Spence fight a little bit from behind, overcommitting, overreaching, making Spence fight a little faster than he's used to, giving Lamont Peterson opportunities to counter him. But I just think during that process, Spence's punches is gonna break Lamont Peterson down before that plan could fulfill itself. But I do believe Lamont Peterson will get an early round lead in this fight, but just take a lot of start to take. You're gonna see the punches have a different effect on his body. That's my what I see happening. So, I give this fight an A. This is definitely an A fight. Two good names, two good guys at their craft. Because I'm trying to think if Errol Spence had better feet like Lamont Peterson, should this fight be an A? Errol Spence doesn't have the footwork to make it two boxers versus two really good boxers. He's kind of like this fight is kind of like the ones over in France. You got the movers and the come forward guys. Because this card is the American card is a lot of fighters, just come forward fighters. You have Marcus Brown and Francis. They're going to fight Adam and Kulaski. For the most part, they're going to fight, but Igor is going to be on the back foot. Ego, I should say. Ego. Gulab and Fidel, they're going to be fighting. On this card, Peterson, we didn't go over his brothers on this card as well. Anthony. Didn't go over that fight too much. Peterson is probably the best mover on this card. And I'm stuck. I guess this fight could be an A. I was really thinking about the fact of the lack of Earl's lateral movement, but it's still good. He's not always a follower. He just doesn't use the lateral movement in a mobility boxing type of way. It's more of a just turn you and send it in the ring. But yeah, this fight is an A. So we got an A, a B in Eastern Fortuna, a C in Marcus Brown, a C in Gulab, and me. I like the Adam Kowalski and Ego Kulaski fight a lot. I like that fight a lot. I gave that a B. It's a real good fight. So a C, B, and an A. I'm not a math genius, but I would say that's like a B. I think that A helps that be a B. So we got a B and two B's cards over here. Both these cards pre-score a B on the RRT Boxing Show. Hopefully these fights live up to it or even better. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of these fights? This is just like I said. This is a nice pre-fight scorecard edition of the RRT Boxing Show. Thank you for watching. See you tonight. Hope you tune in tonight on the post-fight recap of the States card that is and the showtimes. Have a good night. Good one. Good night. Good one. Whatever.